Today, at President Trump's direction, the United States Treasury has begun Operation Economic Outcast, an unprecedented campaign against the Islamic Republic of Iran and its enablers. In the Second World War, D-Day marked the historic beginning of a campaign with our allies to target and drive the enemy from its positions, including those in third countries. Today, in that same spirit, we are launching an economic onslaught against Iran's financial connections around the globe. Our objective is to sever every economic lifeline that sustains this tyrannical regime until Tehran stands alone. Iran's fanatics devote themselves to death to America and seek nuclear weapons to do just that. They have murdered and maimed more of our citizens and service members than any other terrorist regime on earth. And they have been at war against America, their neighbors in the Gulf, and much of the world for 47 years.
Shalom.
President Trump has taken action.
All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Makar Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Alright, so you have America now threatening all the nations that may be aligned or do any business deals with Iran over there in the Middle East. Basically challenging these nations and telling them if they continue to do so, or if they align themselves with Iran in any way, they are basically, it's going to be like guilt by association, and now this place is going to wage war on them, in these things, this type of speech, as the scriptures say, him having a look more stout than his fellows, man, his prideful speech, basically to every other nation in the world, telling them they better, get with it, or they're gonna have a problem, militarily. Alright, this type of energy, alright, these type of actions is what's gonna lead to the whole world shooting missiles on this place, man. Alright. Everybody is sick of this place, man, and especially this, authoritative, this authoritative tone that America speaks with, as it pertains to its dealings with other nations, man. You see the other nations are sick of this shit, man. All right. Basically, come up with the propaganda. These nations have missiles that they, are willing to shoot on us, which that is true. But this one's a threat, that one's a terrorist, this one's a murderous regime, all to make these excuses of why they think that they are, supposed to be in control of the whole world. And the energy of the world, right, the spirit that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai got on these other nations, right, is that, they ain't having that shit no more, man. All right, it's Iran's business, conflict, which, what's up with you? Which, they said would be over in 2 weeks to begin with. He says, it's going to be a 2-week thing. It's going on however long. All right, and you see it's no end in sight. And the reason that it's no end in sight is because the Most High keep putting the spirit on Esau, all right, to continue to anger the nations and of course the nations to get more angry enough to the point that they're going to be ready to shoot missiles on this place, man. All right. This is Jeremiah 50:9. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. All right, them arrows being the missiles, man. All right, scriptures say none of the missiles is gonna be shot in vain. So, dude, pardon me, I forget his name, but guy that's giving the speech in the clip, he was right when he said, they have nuclear weapons that they're willing to use and that they, getting, ready to use on this place, because that's the times we in, man. All right, this third world war is gonna be a nuclear war, man. And as the scriptures say, the third world coming quickly, man. No matter how much you hear these nations speak on how peace is on the horizon, and we gonna do this and sign this one, and sign this agreement and that other one, and it never comes to fruition, man, because the Most High blocking that shit, man. There ain't no peace, man. Amongst these nations, they don't know no other way. Especially Esau, he knows no other way but war. All right, war is how he, preserves his life. It's how he sustains himself, man. All right, thou shalt live by the sword, man. So, it's not gonna end, man. All right, and shit like this is just, stirring the pot, as they say, man. You're stirring the pot, it's pissing the nations off, man. Now you got Canada talking about they cut off all the power in America and stop doing business with them. From every angle, all these nations are coming up against this place, So for you to say that prophecy is not real, or this place ain't gonna be destroyed, whatever, doctrine you coming with, man, outside of the true doctrine. Like how washing outside, man, it's getting to the point where it's irrefutable, man. All this prophecy is coming to pass. Alright? But I ain't gonna hold you. Hope that video was edifying. Shalom.